Hello and welcome to another episode of Raw Chatter, stories of reinvention, addiction, and in this case today we have got an incredible story of resilience, positivity, and so much more. I've got an amazing guest with me today. Karlie Thompson has a senior role in comms in the NHS, which she absolutely loves, but she is not working in that role at the moment. And Karlie is going to share her incredible story as to why that is the case. Because this one, folks, get yourself a cuppa, sit down, be ready to have your mind blown. Karlie, thank you for joining me, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Vicky. What an intro. I hope I can live up to that. And the story is one that you never think will happen to you. And already I can feel the emotion, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
The fear of sharing, I think, is something that we underestimate. I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
Oh dear. You never ever would imagine what could happen to your body, because if you have a body that works and you have a body that delivers for you every day, then don't count your blessings, kick the ball, buy the shoes, eat the cake, book the holiday, because this story will show you that somebody that had it all could lose it all in a heartbeat, and nearly did. And I get emotional because I have an incredible family, and I got put to sleep in a coma on the 28th of April this year because I contracted a community disease called pneumococcal pneumonia. It's out there, anybody could get it. And I got it because my immune system was down and I was trying to do a cut at the gym. I was obsessed with getting my best targets. I was leg pressing 250. I was absolutely thriving. My food was really down because I was on a cut, and I was probably at like my weakest from an immune perspective. But ultimately, I was still told by the consultants it could happen to anybody. They put me into a coma. Now I've pulled myself together. Deep breath, carry on.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just going to stop you there just for one moment, just so that
Yeah.
people who are listening who may not understand the kind of the bodybuilding and the competitive world. Karlie's talking about cutting is a way of showing your muscle definition, and it involves quite rigid, restrictive ways of eating for a period of time, as well as training, doesn't it? Which is why it has the potential to have an effect on your immune system.
It does, yeah. And it's one of those things that I was doing to test my own discipline, and to try. But it weakened my immune system, and that could have potentially exposed me more. But the consultant did say the week before or the week after, you'd have been fine. Who knows? So yeah, my takeaway, if we start with the end in mind, is do what you need to do now. Kick the ball, tell people you love them, do it, because as I say, on the 28th of April, in 1 o'clock in the morning, I was taken to the hospital. The children's dad came to pick them up. My other half then drove me to the hospital. And I think it was 11 o'clock the following day. They started to try to get more oxygen in me. They couldn't do it. I had the helmet. I had the big contraptions that push all the oxygen in, CPAP, as it's called, and that didn't work. So they said, we're going to have to put you to sleep. And I was like, great, 2 days no sleep, 2 days full uninterrupted sleep. Night night, see you in a couple of days, I'll be fine. A few antibiotics. I've probably got COVID, it's nothing. I woke up 2 weeks later in Leicester. 2 weeks later in Leicester, and I'd been in a coma for that time. And what had happened was my blood pressure had gone through the floor, and they decided that I'd got I was very lucky in that a consultant that was responsible for delivering what's called the ECMO, which is a special, highly specialist piece of equipment that takes pretty much all the blood out of you, circulates, does your body's job for you, and then puts it back in you. Only a number of, I think it's 8 places in the country have the ECMO.
Right.
Leicester drove up, picked me up in the specialist ambulance, drove me straight back down. And whilst on the ECMO, I had a stroke, which has reduced mobility in the right hand side of my arm, but I'm there. And you may be able to see a black fingertip and a black thumb tip. And I also had black feet. My feet turned necrotic as well. So I woke up with a tracheostomy. You can see my scars. I've got goodness knows how many scars. I'm literally peppered with them now. And my brain was absolutely switched on. There was no difference to how I was, how I thought, what I thought about. And I remember opening my eyes in the hospital and looking down and seeing 2 pictures of my beautiful children at the end of the bed and going, I've killed everybody. I've killed everybody in a car crash, because that's why I'm here. That's why you go to hospital, isn't it? That's there's nothing else wrong with me. I've what have I done? And I couldn't read any of the information around me because I thought if I read it, I'll know what I've done, and I can't handle that right now. But in a minute, I'll get up and I'll go for a shower, and someone will tell me what's happened, and it'll be okay. And then that minute passed and I couldn't get up and I couldn't move a muscle. I was absolutely locked in. There was no movement.
That
Couldn't
must have been
speak.
terrifying for you mentally to kind of go, I'm trying to move and I can't move.
Yeah, it was so frightening because nobody tells you everything straight away because you can't talk it through.
No.
And they all thought that I just had a stroke and wasn't quite left, nothing was left the same. So they didn't know what was left within me. So there were all these people talking over me. Oh, she'll have had a personality will have changed because of the stroke. We don't know whether or not she'll be able to move again. We'll need to send her for a CT and an MRI. She's got fluid around her heart. She's got a hole in her lung. She's on the dialysis. She's got the liver of somebody that drinks a lot, a hardened drinker, which is hilarious, Vicky, because I don't drink anything except a glass of Bucks Fizz at Christmas. So I'm laid there going, they're talking about me.
Have they got it wrong?
Is this me or is this someone on another bed? Because I'm not a hardened drinker. But no, it was me. They thought I was a hardened drinker. And ultimately, my other half came in that day and sat with me, and I had to communicate through an alphabet chart where they point to the letters.
Spell every word out.
Spell every word out. Took a long time. And eventually, over the coming days, weeks, I figured out what had happened, and went through what can only be described as pure hell, and lived every day thinking, when am I going to get out? When am I going to get out? I want to go home now. I'm ready to go home. My brain was so ready to go home.
Right. So a lot of this is really important for people to understand, that we hear the word stroke and we have an idea of what that means in our head, but it can be very, very different for different people, can't it?
Absolutely.
This idea that it's definitely going to affect your mental functioning and capacity, it is not necessarily the case. And for you, it very much was not the case at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's certain things that I think come within. They don't know what happened to me and what's left, if you like, and we'll go through that. Whether it was caused by the stroke or the sepsis, because I got sepsis while I was in there and went into multi-organ failure, or whether or not it was caused by the drugs, or the fact that I'd not moved for so long, or all of the above. So you gradually start to piece together that the world's going to be a very different place, but it took a long time for them to admit it. So I had the the trachea eventually taken out. I went through numerous tests to be able to see whether I could swallow and eat again. I
Right.
was fed through a tube. I was starving all the time. Oh, do you know when people walk around with these water bottles?
Yeah.
Please, for a moment, just cherish that moment, because now more than ever, the fact that I can reach for my beautiful iced coffee is just next level, because when you're laid in a hospital bed, you're fed through a tube and everyone's walking around drinking out of these water bottles. That's all you want. Just give me a drink. And you're not
Wow.
allowed.
Wow.
It's being done to for a woman that is hyper independent,
Yeah.
ran a house, had have an incredible job, beautiful car, beautiful kids, beautiful holidays, family, friends, a full life,
Right.
perhaps too full. And you go from that to, I can't move, I can't decide what concoctions of drugs are going in me.
Right.
They're deciding everything.
Wow.
I can't itch my head, I can't move my hand, I can't. And then came the day, the horrible day, where they said, you're going to have to decide if you want to lose your feet because they've gone necrotic, and be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, or have a bilateral below knee amputation, so both legs below the knee removed so that it could get the leverage for prosthetics, and learn to walk again.
What?
Yeah. And you know the bit that we know when people say kids are really resilient. Do you know what? Kids are really resilient, because my two babies, when I was in hospital, turned 8 and 10. Incredible to have their birthdays there, and you know, they just they showed me the way, because we all had a vote. Does mummy keep her feet? Does mummy just get rid of her feet and be in a wheelchair? Or does mummy have a bilateral and try to walk again and get prosthetics?
Right.
And every one of us in the family had a vote, and my children said, we want mummy to walk again. And that's what mummy's going to do.
Oh, I've just had a whole wave of goosebumps go over me. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to interject while I have a moment. And just for people who are listening, because you've mentioned some medical terms there, which I know you are familiar with, but people listening may not be. So you mentioned the necrosis, and in simple terms, that just means that there is no blood flow going,
Dead.
and there's just
Yes,
completely
sad.
dead, which
Yeah.
means that you can't feel anything there, and that's what had happened to your feet.
Yeah.
Now, the sepsis, was that the reason for the necrosis? And so just to let people know, so sepsis basically is poisoning of the bloodstream. But we don't know whether that was to do with the original virus that you picked up, or whether it was to do with the treatment that they were trying while they were in hospital. And the very fact that 5 times you had sepsis, and obviously my brain is going, how on earth did that happen more than once? You know, what's that saying?
I got sepsis. So yeah, absolutely. I got sepsis while I was on the ECMO, and that's one of the potential effects of going on the ECMO. So it's almost, in my mind, it was I've had to lose my legs in the way that the Little Mermaid had to give up her voice to be able to get her legs. So I kind of, that's how I've explained it to the kids. If mummy hadn't lost her legs, mummy wouldn't be here, because sepsis was caused, and sepsis is your body's way, your body overreacts and attacks itself on the back of infection, and that's what happened. Sorry, I just
it's important, just because there may be some people listening who may have heard the terms but don't really fully comprehend what it means. But that left you then with that dilemma, and as you said, kids are incredible because they just come out with it. They've got none of the niceties and, I better not say this because I don't want to hurt her feelings and all of that rubbish. They just say what they need to say, and thank goodness for that. Because you and I had a plan, didn't we? We were going to do this podcast episode before you went in for any surgeries at all. And that was the plan. And then we were going to do post-surgery. But things didn't quite pan out even so,
Yeah.
as we planned. So that's what you decided when you were in hospital. And
Yeah.
then eventually you came home. So
Yeah.
tell us about what was that like?
So the list of what was wrong with me was literally as long as your arm and your leg, and it went from has the stroke affected personality in the brain. I have limited sight in my left eye, but that's due to an infection I got while on ICU. Fluid around my heart, hole in my lungs, limited lung capacity, broken down liver, failing kidneys. The list went on and on and on in terms of then the necrotic feet and the fingers. And came home. I said, I'll come home. I want to go home as soon as possible. So everything above the knee gets fixed this year, and then we worry about below the knee when I've got my head around that.
Right.
And yeah, I came back, and then we went to see one of the consultants at Sheffield about my feet, and he said, "Well, there's no point in delaying. We'll," and I stand by. We'll cut them off on the 10th of October, and that will be it. You'll be up and walking then. And you kind of stand there going, um, "Oh, okay, 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 oh, wow!"
Wow.
Like so we were due for the 10th. Everything was going to happen on the 10th. And then I got an infection in the line where the necrotic meets the healthy tissue, if you like.
Right.
Um, and went into hospital to check it out. I thought, "Oh, just give me some antibiotics,"
Yeah.
on a Sunday night. And they said, "No, we'll bring it forward. We can't risk it." 24th of September. We went in on the Sunday and had them done on the Wednesday. Yeah, there's nothing quite like that feeling of waking up, Vicky, I have to say. My family went through it when I was in on the ECMO and in hospital. I was told, well, they were told 5 times I'd die. They said that I'd got a 5% chance of survival.
Wow.
They were told that I was the sickest person in the UK. It was pretty much a dead cert. I would be done, and I would be, we need to unplug now if we're, it's inhumane what we're doing. And my mum fought as only a mother can.
Do you know what? It's scary that we've had this so many times. What is the mentality and the thought process behind people saying something like that? And I know their argument is going to be, well, we need to prepare you for the worst, but there are ways and there is
Oh,
language, and that
yeah.
is not the way, and that is not the language, is it?
It absolutely blew me away that someone could think about turning the machines off to see what would happen, but there was no way for those that it's not a battle. It's bloody sheer luck that I'm sat here, and I will forever be grateful for that luck and for the gratitude that I've got. And it's interesting that you talk about language, because I've started a kind of a wake up call really to myself and to push myself on. I like to be busy. I get bored very easily. I've got 150 tabs open in my head all at one time, and I run 1,000 miles an hour. And I'm not at work at the moment, so I need to recover and get back to work, and that will hopefully come very soon in the new year. But as I'm laid there in a hospital bed, I got to thinking around, how can I turn this into a positive? So when my children get to my age and they go, my mum was this age when she lost her legs, I want them to look back and go, God, I'm proud. She
Right.
did me proud.
Yeah.
Not I was, not I was a crying wuss, but that I absolutely stood up and got counted and kept going because they did it. And I got really mardy. Sheffield term there for you. I
I'm
got
a northerner. I know
yeah,
it
you
well.
there, you got it.
Yeah.
I got dead mardy because the consultant said to me about a chest drain, and she said, "Well, if the chest drain comes out, we're going to have to put another one in, or you will quite simply die, and that's your choice. And I can put that in your notes, but I need you to know that." And I said, well, I'm not going to die. I've come this far. I've got 2 children. We need to do what we need to do. But the last time you did it was barbaric. Let's do it differently this time. And obviously by this point, I got my voice back.
Yeah.
And she said, well, sometimes you've just got to suck it up, princess. And on that point, I was like, well, that's the title of the book.
Yeah.
And I now have an approach to my life, which is you're in pain. Sometimes you've just got to suck it up. You are struggling, you look down and you want to walk and you want to go and want to take yourself to the toilet would be brilliant right now. But you can't, you've just got to suck it up. And I've got a wheelchair at the moment and I've got an incredible other half that lifts me and carries me and is thankfully off work at the moment. And our work have been fantastic in supporting both of us. But he's a big burly engineer. And I'm desperate to get back on my legs because I run the house. I don't
Right.
like it when he leaves the mess everywhere. It drives me up the bloody wall.
Right.
So I think there's something for me around suck it up, princess, is my reminder to choose positivity. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I've already screamed at the moon today and cried my eyes out because it's his birthday and I couldn't get out of bed to make him a birthday cup of tea or do what you'd normally do, in terms of get the presents, get the cake. Can't do any of that. Can't make any surprises. We had to cancel all our holidays and all the things that we live for and look forward to. Hence why kick the ball, buy the shoes,
Yeah.
eat the cake, tell people you love them, because it could happen to anybody.
And
Sorry.
I think that's a really good message though, because everybody is so in their own fast-paced world of this is what I do and this is what I need to do, and then when I've done that I'm doing this next, and we don't come up for air, and
Yeah.
we don't often stop to actually take stock and be grateful for what we have. And health is one of those. I mean, obviously it's my thing, because I've just seen so many times what happens when you don't have your health. But when we do have it and there is nothing wrong, we kind of take it for granted. And so when something happens, it's literally, it smacks you in the face big time. And you start to then just notice so many things, not just health, that you did take for granted. But I think having that powerful phrase, because no matter what happens in terms of how we feel, and you're a female, you've had kids, and any female listening knows that childbirth, it's not a walk in the park. Right?
No, it's not
As
fun, is
women,
it?
we're quite used to pain, discomfort, and just cracking on with it. And sometimes it's a positive, but sometimes it's actually what we shouldn't be doing. But it's recognizing when you need to have that resilience, that powerful strength of character and determination. But also, you've got 2 incredibly powerful reasons to keep that going. And this is where, and I know not everybody has children, but you may have a partner, or you may have a brother or sister or siblings or nieces, nephews, parents that you need to keep your health and be resilient for. Because sometimes you can't always just do it for yourself. Sometimes you need that external powerful reminder as to, this is why I'm putting up with this pain. This is why I'm going to get through this, even though right in this moment I don't know if I can. There's a part of me that knows this too shall pass.
Yeah, literally.
That is what I absolutely love. So you're going to be writing the book, and you're obviously, we're going to be keeping on top of where your journey's at. But people, I think, may be wondering that you've had this operation now, and so you woke up and suddenly you don't have your 2 legs, but you've already very quickly been through the process of starting to get prosthetics fitted and getting you actually
So
on that process. So you haven't been hanging about.
Nope.
And the NHS, I'm assuming, haven't been hanging about in the process either. They've been helping you to do what you need to do. So what's the next steps then, Karlie?
You see the smile suddenly start to spread.
Yeah.
The next steps are to I've been going to physio endlessly since I woke up, and there's nothing worse than being sat on the edge of your bed in an ICU ward where you can't feel your head and your head's flopping around like you've literally died. However, I am getting stronger. I've put on 10 kilograms, which is a hefty amount. I had a very lovely summer where I ate all the ice cream, and went to all the physio and, really tried hard. And the best bit now, and it is the best bit, they've had me on the giant blow up legs that are called PAM-aids,
Right.
which you walk with very straight knees. I've still got my knees, so it's just about 15 centimeters below my knees where they've taken from. Um, and I've now completed that level. I can walk sideways. I walked 20 meters a couple of days ago in them, and turned around and did some dancing, and absolutely just the best bit. And I'll send you the photo. Is that I was able to stand and kiss my other half, which I haven't done, and the emotion just, tell you what, kiss your other half. If you've not got one, kiss someone, because it's something that you cannot, that affection, that connection with somebody. My kids are driven mad, by the way, at the moment, because literally every second sentence is, I love you. I love you. I love everything about you. You're perfect. I love you. I can't say it enough, because you never know when your 1 o'clock in the morning visit to the hospital might come. And I get measured for my prosthetics on the 22nd of October, which is this next week.
Yeah.
And I get my new legs on the 31st of October, Halloween. So we're having
Wow.
a Halloween party. We're taking them out. I probably won't be able to wear them, but they're all black. They're black carbon. And I am so excited because I have already set the goals. I want to walk around the kitchen on Christmas Day, make myself coffee, probably,
Yes.
hopefully, make Christmas dinner if I can, if we've got that far, all being well. I want to walk up Mam Tor in the Peak District, which is my favourite place. I want to walk back up Ben Nevis with my other half, who proposed at the top of that a few years ago to me.
Brilliant.
And I'm contemplating a little trip to Kilimanjaro in the future as well.
I'm
So
sure you will do it.
there's
And
no
we'll
stopping.
be tracking you all of the way, I've no doubt about it. So the future now is full of positivity, but we also have got to be realistic. You've got the other issues going on as well. So those are being, I suppose, monitored, or do you have next steps in place for those? Because obviously the physical side of things is key. Thank goodness that mentally you are as sharp and as on it as you are. But obviously heart is important, as are lungs, liver.
Yeah.
And so what's happening with all of those major organs?
So I've described it that being this ill is more than a full-time job, because we spend our life in appointments. And in good news, I've had an MRI, and I have a brain and it works, so there's nothing wrong with it. I have a ongoing problem with my left eye, and I can't properly see through it. But we carry on going to see the ophthalmologist, and we're working through that. And maybe they'll have glasses or a lens, or maybe not. But I have a very, very strong right eye, so we don't have a problem, and I can drive, so that's
Oh, correct.
brilliant.
That
Yeah,
is
so
brilliant.
we'll be working towards that. I've got some paperwork to do for the DVLA. That'll be fun. Um, my finger and thumb tip get removed in November. So that'll be the last bit that they're going to cut off me. Thank God. I don't think I could
No
stand
more
anymore
bits.
being part. There's not much left, to be fair. And then the good news is that heart, lungs, kidneys, everything in the middle is all fine and sorted. I've got 95% back on the hole in my lung, and that improves every day. And once I can move more and go to the gym, they
Right.
think that that'll improve even more. And my legs obviously will be coming on the 31st of October. So it's positive, but that doesn't mean to say that it's over and I'm done, and I'm smiling with you when I'm talking about it being positive. like I say, the pain is there. You can't
Right.
get comfy. You can't regulate your body temperature. I'm tired but can't sleep.
Right.
It's a battle of wills. I will win.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I think I'm struggling with at the moment around that, and as women particularly, I think we all get this, is I don't look and I don't talk how I used to.
Right.
And
Right.
that body image, along with my legs and my fingers, has really taken a bashing. Um, and I know that will come back in time. I'm going for the biggest glow up that ever was. But we've, we've got to take it easy on ourselves, and we can't go too hard and too fast. Yeah, that's what we all want to do, and we
Yeah.
all try so blooming hard to do that. So yeah, I think they're my challenges, but they're also my big opportunities as well that I keep trying to hold on to.
I mean, that's a brilliant way of looking at it. And for anybody who has had any kind of major change with how they look or how they sound, it's weird because you know it's you, because you can see that it's you, and but yet it doesn't sound and look like you. But your head is still your head, and your thoughts are still your thoughts, and you've still got your values and everything else. So it's that complete kind of dissonance between what I'm seeing and hearing and what I actually think I should be seeing and hearing. And obviously, the work that I do with people with eating disorders, I understand what that is like, because when you're, especially if you've struggled with something like anorexia, and then you have to come to terms with the fact that if you want to live a normal life and enjoy it, your body is going to change from the thinnest weight that you've ever been. It can't not. And getting your head around that. But I think the beauty, and this is an important thing, and I think we should really, really stress this, because I think that if you hadn't have been so physically active, if you hadn't have been aware of good nutrition and understood the importance of training and so on and so forth, I'm not sure that I would be talking to you today.
No, that's exactly what they've said. That I was the thinnest I've ever been when I was taken ill. And that didn't stand me in good stead for the ECMO. ECMO tends to work better for bigger people.
Mm,
However, I wouldn't have made it through if I wasn't as healthy.
right.
My heart wouldn't have come back. My
Yeah.
lungs wouldn't have come back. All my organs have just absolutely turned around and recovered. And it's those points where you go, do you know those 6 o'clock alarms when I'd not got the kids because they were at the dad's, and I
Yeah.
got up and I went to the gym? They were worth it.
Right.
Going on that walk when you're like, "Oh, but I could just put a film on." Yeah, but the discipline,
Right.
just do it. Just that little bit of exercise really makes a difference. But ultimately, back to the food thing as well. It's reset me on my battle with food. So I've had a lifetime battle with I want to be thin. I want to be thin. I'll do anything to be thin. And I'd really gotten on top of it with going to the gym and training and being strong.
Yeah.
But now I'm eating the cake as well.
Mm,
And I think there's something for me around this has shown me that yes, my weight has helped me get to this position, and the fact that I can get up on legs, and the fact that I'm strong, and I'm I've got muscle memory, and it's all coming back into play. That's what saved me.
yeah.
But I now have a better quality of life. I'll eat a croissant, I'll have cream on top of every coffee, I'll have chocolate whenever I want. And I just think that it teaches you, and that's my huge thing around Suck It Up, Princess. It teaches you that there is shit that goes off. Sorry for swearing, everybody, but
Yeah. It's
there
fine.
are bad things that happen, but there are incredible things in this life. There's so much joy to be had.
Mm,
Things that you never thought would bring you joy. I used to I thought, why would you go and paint a pot? I do it with the kids, but why would you do it? We went and painted a pot the other week. I've never had as much fun in my life. 2.5 hours we were in there, and none of us wanted to leave because we were all chatting, and no one had their phones on, and everyone was playing, and that memory, it's now on all the kids' Christmas lists, the top of what do you want to do? Want to go back to paint apart? Want to go back to paint apart? It's
right.
joy in the smallest of things.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I would say, take the joy from the tiniest of moments. It's not the field of sunflowers, it's the flower. And that's the bit that I think is so important.
And I think what you've just said there is also that, you know, being able to do something like that, how you look and your size has nothing to do with it.
God, no.
It's the experience of being with people that you love, of conversation, of fun, of being fully present in the moment. And this is where we realize that it's very easy to get caught up in worrying about stuff that actually, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that important. But looking after your physical health through physical activity and keeping your mind active also, I think absolutely is. And you're just an amazing example of just what the human body is capable of if you do have really good foundations of health and fitness. So we are going to keep in touch because we want to follow your journey through the podcast. And you very kindly said that we can do a part 2. And you never know,
Yes.
when you walk up Kilimanjaro, I'm sure we'll be
there.
Yeah.
Right, look at this, Vicky.
Yeah, fantastic. But I'm going to ask you, where can people find out about what you're doing? Because you have been actually documenting, haven't you, your process and your journey. So where are you hanging out on social media? People want to follow you.
At the moment, I'm on 3 places. I'm on Facebook under Karlie Thompson. I'm on LinkedIn under Karlie Thompson. And I'm Associate Director of Comms for Chesterfield Royal, so if people can find me there. But the best place would be on Instagram. That's at Karlie_Thompson_suck-it-up. And I blog pretty regularly on across all of them, but the website will be coming, and I'm gonna get the book done when we've got a little bit more of the and so now what sorted. But yeah, it's a challenging time. I still wonder when I'm going to wake up from the nightmare, but we take steps forward.
Right. And I want to ask you this question because I ask it to all of my guests. And in your case, I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick one thing, but what is the one thing, the message, the story, the snippet, whatever, that you want people to walk away from this episode with?
Sometimes you've got to suck it up, princess. Sometimes choosing that positivity is really hard, but you do it because you do it, like you say, for somebody else. So find the purpose, find the drive, find the motivation, and suck it up. Other times, it's okay not to. We're all in it together. It's okay to ask for help, whatever that looks like, and it's okay to not feel like you're capable of sucking it up that day. I would really say to people, take joy where there is joy from the smallest of things, and enjoy every single moment and be present. I'm not a mindful person. I'm not going to go away and meditate. I'll probably go away and scroll online and buy something in the shop. That's my peace. But find your peace, enjoy it, and live for it, because life is too short.
Brilliant. What a fantastic message. Thank you so much, Karlie, for joining me. And I'm going to leave you with this, as I always do. We only have one life, as far as we know, and one body. So look after it, because it is looking after you. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.